I just found a new button on my mouse.
Oh, how nice.
There's I hadn't recognized it. I hadn't realized it was there because my thumb doesn't usually go forward that far.
Oh,
But there's a button if I scooch my hand up under my thumb that reduces the mouse travel distance to almost nothing. The cursor travel distance, so I can do really fine work.
Neat.
My mouse also has a button like that, but it is not conveniently placed away from where I would normally press it. It is placed directly below the scroll wheel, so I can press it accidentally, frequently, and then wonder why my cursor either moves way too fast or way too slow. So, you have the better mouse. Congratulations. Anyway, hello and welcome to Cause and Effect, a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign. My name is Crash. I will be your DM for the evening. Tonight I'm joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Io, and Jen. And what happened last time?
I have no idea.
I think Monty was telling us about how he's part of Kosha provisionally fourth class.
The Kosha stuff.
Right.
The last thing I actually remember was the sheep race.
Oh, that was memorable.
There was a sheep race. We had one game that was turned into an all-kobold game. Well, all-cultural kobold game, because reasons. So it's been a while, but the last session ended with Jex storming into the tavern immediately after Cavill said something about not wanting to start a diplomatic incident. Jex stormed in,
why I said that.
carrying Jim the Kobold and tossing him to the ground. And Cavill goes, "Oh, look, a diplomatic incident." But in the process, Jex also tossed to the ground a satchel, ostensibly belonging to Jim the Kobold, that was filled with cocktail umbrellas of a similar design to the umbrella that was found in one of the sheep stalls, in theory given to the sheep to give it bad luck during the sheep races, which, having witnessed the sheep races,
Right.
luck seems to be a very integral part of the design.
Either that or redundant. The umbrella is redundant.
Yes. The other sabotage attempts involved a mirror that got broken by a sheep by stepping on it. It was kept in a small bag so that the shards wouldn't actually damage the sheep. There was a small
tiny ladder
that was nailed over the gate to one of the sheep pens.
Bad luck walking under it.
And the worst sabotage that took place was spiking the food of a sheep that was the size and stats of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. One of these things is not like the others. And perhaps Jim can tell you something about it.
Okay. Well, let's see what he has.
It wasn't me! I don't know how these got there.
Where is there? Says Hobby, who's possibly still clinging to the ceiling because, hey.
Oh, that's right. Canonically, I don't think you actually got down from there.
Nope.
Right. I think you're still there as well. Yeah.
No, she's just got her fingers and toes dug into the ceiling and is craning her head around upside down, just sort of looking around.
So, when Monty comes over to Jim, Monty walks directly underneath Hobby to get there.
Yep.
Because he can. That's
Hi,
right,
Dickens.
cat in the distance.
What you finally
Dickens?
heard Dickens. That was Dickens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he
Dickens had
yelled.
something to say.
He was yelling a lot.
Also, I really like how when I click on Monty, he's considered a player character, so when I click on him, I can still only see what he sees line of sight.
Okay.
If in order for me to see the entire map and all of my NPCs, I have to click on the elephant in the room that we will not talk about.
Oh, that's why it's there.
No, that's
It
not
is?
why it's there. It's there for the gag. It's there so I can say
okay.
don't talk about the elephant in the room.
Got it.
With that said, it now has a useful thing that I can do with it. So I appreciate the elephant in the room. But we're not talking about it. We're talking about Jim. and
Mhm.
his collection of cocktail umbrellas.
Those sure are a lot of cocktail umbrellas.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's kind of funny how all those got there. Ellie. I'm not sure how we do that, but if we managed, for the recording's sake, I will say that we had a pre-game discussion about Hobby and the fact that Hobby is still level 6 because Hobby won't use this one level. Everyone else is level 7.
She gave the level to her
And-
god.
The god doesn't want it. The god is dealing with an influx
was
of
a
porridge from a different follower. We're not going to get into it. It's not fun.
Right.
But don't worry about it. That's a discussion for other characters.
Text will take the
Ellie's-
level. Teriush can re-gift the level.
Oh no.
There you go.
Teriush will
I
not
don't know if that
regift
was a
levels. That Teriush considers that to be very tacky.
Oh, fair.
Teriush just believes in honesty and telling someone when they don't actually want the gift. Look, I'm sure it's a wonderful snowman mug. It looks like a wonderful snowman. I just don't have a use for a snowman mug. I like my current mug.
Hi, Dickens. Wow.
Oh, Ken is something to say.
He's over in the kitchen.
Anyway,
So loud.
the reason for this digression is not Dickens the cat, which sounds adorable, but what Ellie typed in chat. After much reflection, I think Hobby should multi-class into Rogue, be Rogue 6/Rogue 1.
It's the only way you get a new specialization.
I'm not sure I want any of the other specializations.
If you multi-class into Rogue 1, that means that you would be a starship pilot.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Are you going to give me a starship?
They all die.
No, this is not
Spoiler.
that campaign.
Right. Wrong
Even if you are
campaign.
one of the Force and the Force is with you.
Yeah, that was not that was not a well-fated group.
None of them were even
mean-
Bothans.
Yeah, well, they were in spirit, apparently.
Blue Milk Special did a thing, this was years and years ago, where Mon Mothma was like having dinner at home or something with some guests. And here's some tea. Many Bothans died to bring us this tea. And here's dessert. Many Bothans died to give us this dessert.
I was thinking of a similar gag that PvP Online did, the webcomic PvP Online did years ago. Many Bothans died to bring us this information. Mon Mothma, here are the donuts for the meeting. Many Bothans died to bring us these donuts.
Maybe it was PvP. I just remember it was years and years and years ago, but the only comic that I'm reading right now that,
Pretty sure Blue Milk Special did it too.
well,
The joke's right there.
Mm-hmm.
because what would Star Wars fandom be without taking a line said once and turning it into a meme that happens constantly? Looking at you, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
They made t-shirts. Anyway, Jex is just standing there looking
This isn't-
stern.
This isn't the coffee I ordered. It's a frap.
I remember that one.
I love goofy puns so much.
And now the real question, can you hear the ice cream truck going past my neighborhood?
No.
Heard like one note of it, but it was very faint. Probably a
Okay.
lot quieter than Dickens.
And
So
thank goodness
we
they only
have-
play copyright-free music. But with that said,
Good.
Jax is just standing there with his arms crossed looking stern at Jim, who is still sort of half crouched on the floor in front of the satchel with cocktail umbrellas. Monty is sort of just standing there watching. Monty hasn't said anything yet.
Hmm.
But Monty does
Just
look
the
over at
umbrellas
the party and raise one eyebrow. Well, brow
Why
ridge.
does this seem to think that I can only use warlock spells with pact slots and only use not warlock spells with not warlock slots?
That sort of makes sense.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Oh.
Never mind. It just sorted them weirdly. I can use them properly.
Oh, good.
Does this mean Cavil's about to cast a spell?
It means I was looking at my spell list to see if I had any helpful spells.
I mean, you could cast your fear spell.
Mm.
I don't think that would help.
So what's in the bag besides
It-
the umbrellas?
Well, from the ceiling, you can't see.
That's why she's asking.
That's why she's asking. That's why she's saying it out loud. So what's in the
Okay.
bag besides the...
So you were not asking the DM, you were asking the rest of the party.
Or possibly poor Jim.
Jim, Jimmy, Jim, 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 Jimmy, Jim.
I try to interrogate Jim. I don't know what I'd roll for that, but
Investigation? Someone needs to roll investigation on that there sack.
yeah, let me figure
I
out how to find my
Will
character sheet
pick up
again.
the sack and roll investigation on it. I will
Okay.
investigate the sack.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but if the sack needs investigating, I will investigate it.
Okay, that's probably good because Mech doesn't have anything in investigation actually. So.
All right, with a 13, I will say the first thing you notice is there is a little metal nameplate on the cover flap for the satchel that says Jim's Satchel. Team thread count. Do not steal.
You know, normally I would think that this was an attempt at framing, but given how Kobold society seems to work, I have to say this actually also seems entirely in keeping with normal behavior.
To be fair, we are considered legal adults at age 6, so that explains a lot about our society and the way we interact with the world.
Astounding.
So what else is in that satchel?
It is entirely cocktail umbrellas.
What was in it before that?
Cathal sort of sadly, but with the face of someone deeply disappointed, slowly pours the cocktail umbrellas onto the ground.
You have a small pile of cocktail umbrellas on the ground. Although it is a small
Are they-
pile because these are cocktail umbrellas and it was one satchel and it
Mhm.
wasn't a magical satchel. I mean, that'd be hilarious if it was a satchel of holding and you just kept pouring and pouring
Stuff all in.
and pouring. That would be hilarious for me to do, but no, Jim does not have a magical satchel of holding. I missed my opportunity.
Mhm. Are the umbrellas open or closed?
They are all closed, except, well, there's a few that appear to have been broken at some point, possibly when the satchel was thrown into the ground harshly. Cocktail umbrellas are not known for being very durable.
Right. Okay.
Honestly, some of them were probably broken when they got into the satchel. They're not durable.
Oh, no, I only collected the ones that weren't broken. I just think they're neat. It's the only reason I ordered the drinks here that come with them. I mean, they're not mine. I've never seen them before. Whose satchel is that?
Yours?
It says so right here.
Oh no, someone bought a moderately expensive satchel and had my name engraved on it. Who would do such a... May I have it back now?
Okay, so
Sure.
we found who put the bad luck charm in that sheep's.
I didn't. It wasn't me.
Well, who was it then?
Definitely not one of my team members. You should look somewhere else.
That's a confession.
Okay, so who put the mirror
That's
in the other
opposite of
sheep?
a confession. It is the polar opposite of a confession.
All right, so what about the mirror in the other sheep's pen?
What mirror? I definitely don't know about any mirror that's kept in a bag.
Yep. And what about
That's from Maple Boy
ladder?
or
And what about the ladder?
What ladder? We were walking over the side of the gate instead of going under it for totally unrelated reasons.
And what about the weird food in Oviceres Rex's stall?
That sheep scares us. We're not going anywhere near a sheep that large.
Jack,
Okay,
I
that
don't.
seems fair. That seems fair. Why would you do that? You are small, and that thing, as you said, is large. So that part I'll believe.
What part would we
I
roll
can't
to be
imagine
sure?
anyone trying to feed anything to that sheep, let alone putting their own head inside its mouth. That's really weird.
Mhm.
So, what would be a proper detect lies kind of thing to roll?
Insight.
Definitely
Insight.
As you can see, I rolled insight.
Oh, I have that. That's smart. Okay.
So with an insight of 15 for Cavil and an insight of 12 for Hobby, I will say that both of you are able to very correctly determine that Jim rolled a nat 1 on deception. Also, Jim is using standard cobalt stats. Not cobalt stats, then Jim would be radioactive. But cobalt
And
stats.
possibly blue.
And possibly blue. So Jim has a wisdom of -2
Oh,
and a
no.
charisma of -1.
So he rolled a 0.
Well, with a nat 1, it's an automatic failure no matter what the number is, but the number would have been a 0 otherwise.
I thought that skills didn't auto fail.
I've been treating it as an auto fail if you roll a nat 1 because it's funnier that way.
That's fair.
Yeah, that is.
Especially when it's a kobold.
Mhm.
Especially when it's an NPC
Yeah.
kobold.
Yeah, that I get that. That makes sense. It does.
Jack, I think that this well, I'm a little concerned about that the mirror. The mirror could have broken and gotten through the bag it was in. Fixing poor Jim with a stern upside down feline eye.
Are you smiling
It's-
or frowning? It's hard to tell when you're upside down.
Are my ears up or are my ears laid flat?
I can't tell if your ears are up or down because your head is upside down. I need context.
She will flip her ears up and down and
Well, that's
forwards and
definitely
back.
someone with a very bad perception.
Now
Yeah.
it looks like you're trying to fly like the little bat wings on the Converse sneakers over there.
You might want to be careful for someone who looks just a tad like a cat toy right now. I have the high ground.
Literally.
Eenie or Meanie, you're not sure which one, calls from the bar. We're gonna charge you for the damage you're doing to our roof.
Just a few holes. You'll never
Okay.
know they were there.
Can you actually get down or are your claws stuck?
I can get down when I feel like it.
That's what
Let
the
me see
last
if I have
tabaxi said.
mending.
Sorry, what was that, EO?
Said, let me see if I have mending. Sorry, go ahead,
How
Ellen.
tall is the ceiling?
Not
Well,
very.
you're
That's why she's stuck to it.
You're in the area that slopes downwards towards the front doors. So I'm going to say Tex has to slightly duck just to make sure Tex doesn't make a Tex-shaped dent.
As a point of illustration, then, Tex reaches up, plucks Hobby from the ceiling, and then replaces her.
On the
Now, there's more
ceiling.
than one way
Just-
to interpret that sentence. And I
I
am
was
choosing
trying to
not
figure
to
out which one
interpret
it
it
was.
as
Yeah.
Not
you
yes,
decide to take
I am not-
Hobby's place attached to the ceiling because there is a history.
It's
You-
true.
Like in Star Wars, where it only happens once and it becomes a meme.
That is legitimately how I heard it.
It
I mean,
happened
like-
twice.
Her back.
Why Tex?
Right. Yeah, it did sound to me like,
This
Tex
makes more
pulls
sense.
Hobby off the ceiling, shows everyone that Hobby is fine, puts her back. And that's what I thought it was.
Oh no, I interpret it as takes Hobby off the ceiling and then climbs up onto the ceiling to be in the same
To
location,
take their place.
hanging from the ceiling by sheer force of grip by her robotic fingers.
I feel like
Okay.
she might kind of bring down the ceiling. She's heavier than Hobby.
True.
And
Also,
this,
Hobby is not
this
just
tavern's already
hanging
been through
by-
enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I already said I'm choosing not to interpret it that way, but it'd be funny.
Mhm.
But I'm choosing not to interpret it
Yes.
that way because Tex does not strike me as the chaotic element of this party. That's
No.
Tex
That's
and Mech.
So many
Are-
other members.
So many other members, yes.
Tex and Mech are the, for want of a better term, the straight men of this
Mhm.
particular comedic troupe.
Yep. Mhm.
So, sorry, Hobby, you are no longer able to assert dominance. You have been
They're standing in the
usurped
ceiling. Yep.
by the 7-foot tall robot.
Hobby will climb
Right.
on top of Tex.
Oh no, I'm putting Hobby back where she was. I was just making the
Oh, you-
point that you can get down anytime you want.
Provided a robot pulls you off the ceiling and puts you back. Yes. Okay, so you're still on the ceiling then.
Hobby has now flattened herself to the ceiling with, claws and is now making sideways flat-eared glares.
Little bits
Oh,
of
no.
splinter are falling down onto the floor. Well, you couldn't put Hobby back in the exact same spot, so there's new gouges from the claws. We will not talk about whether or not one of the claws on a paw has gotten stuck, so that you do the thing when you try to get free of just like having one paw stuck while the rest are loose, and you shake it and shake it and shake it.
Hobby, actually, being a sapient creature, is probably a little bit better about the claw thing than a cat, because she knows that the claws curve, and if one gets stuck, you don't pull it backwards, so that it gets more stuck. You have to sort of lever it out carefully, and she actually knows how to do this.
Remember when we
Unlike
talked about
most of my
elements of
cats.
chaos?
Hmm.
You've spent the entirety, except for one small moment of this session, stuck to the ceiling.
By choice.
That does not negate my assertion in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're still
Almost
stuck to the
choice.
ceiling. Jim is still on the
Yes.
ground.
Mhm. Mhm.
Jack says, well,
Go ahead.
it looks like you found your saboteur. We're leaving in the morning. Our vacation is over. I'm going to bed. Good
We
night,
found one of-
everyone.
Good night,
All right.
Chex. But this isn't the real saboteur that we need to worry about.
Well, you're saying that either to the rest of the party or to Jax's back because they are going up the stairs. They are tired.
To the rest of the party, or possibly
Mhm.
to Jim.
Okay.
I never got an answer on whether they were lying about not messing with the big sheep. Just that he was lying very badly.
Well, what he said was okay. So with Cavil's 15, Jim is doing a very, very bad job of lying in general. So you're able to pick out every
Yes.
time Jim is asserting a falsehood. Let's be honest, no one here actually needed to roll that. What you're getting from
Yeah,
the
no,
15, what you're getting from the 15 is Jim is very adamant about how terrifying Ovisaries Rex is.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to insight specifically.
Yes. So Jim has confessed is the wrong word.
Mhm.
But essentially,
Babbled.
Jim has revealed that Team Thread Count is responsible for the bad luck attempt. But spiking a sheep's food is not a bad luck attempt. It's possibly attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And if Team Thread Count had attempted that thing, then the murder would have been of Team Thread Count, and the murder would have been a sheep the size of a T-Rex.
Mm-hmm. Who else would know that stuff? I mean, all the kobolds know that particular thing is bad for sheep, right?
Well, there was a concerted effort to make sure none of it was on the farm. There was a lot
So-
of fire. Yeah, I'm still kind of miffed that I wasn't asked to help. We sent an invitation. It didn't get to you? My daughter never gave it to me. That's odd. Yes, very.
Was she hoarding the fire?
I only found out about it after it was already over.
Keeping all the fire to herself?
What Zeely did not give Monty was the invitation to cleanse the farm in fire to make sure that weed that makes sheep go violent was nowhere near the sheep.
Ah, yes. That makes sense.
Yes. Now, whether or not Zeely participated in the responsible pyromania, I leave up to you to decide because that's your character. But Monty did not receive the invitation. Monty can be responsible, but Monty doesn't quite understand limits in regards to non-dragons.
There's responsible when you're fireproof, and there's responsible when you're not fireproof.
Also, historically, Monty already torched this farm once.
Oh, that was a while back.
Yes.
I remember that now. Yeah.
A lot of good kobolds
May.
died. A few bad kobolds died.
And it took a long time to wish them all back.
To be fair, Monty was being controlled by more than one orb of dragon control at the time.
Still would be traumatic.
A little yellow box appears with an asterisk that says, "Check Pack Tactics Season 2, true believers."
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Is that the one where I was playing Meepo as well as another character? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it was, because Monty was introduced. Actually, no, it might have been Season 3.
Oh,
No, it was definitely
Okay.
Season 2, because Season 3 was a new set of kobolds. So Season 2 was the second
Right.
run with the first group.
okay.
And that's when Monty was introduced. You went to the continent on the other side of the planet, and that's when Monty and the rest of Zeely's clan showed up.
Okay. Been a while.
Been a while.
And you got to see the fates of several orbs of dragon control.
Yes, that was inspired, honestly. Not from me, but that was interesting.
What are we summoning? Oh, it must be this. Let's try to control it. Chomp, 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 chomp.
I mean, 5 orbs of dragon control, the one had gone missing, 5 heads.
It turns out that
Are
they
we
don't
live?
work on a
Are we
dragon
still
god.
live?
We are still
It was
live.
out of context quote.
Jim is possibly wishing for death, or wishing to be anywhere but here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we
really
should
sorry you didn't get the invite. It was we had like a sort of potluck for afterwards. It was really nice.
Mhm.
Okay, we didn't get an invite either.
Canonically, I think at the time you were in the far-flung future, which hurts my head to think about how that should be tense, verb-wise.
We didn't get an invite anyway, and I'm trying to help people feel better, and we missed out on a potluck.
Hmm.
It was tragic.
Zim made their famous casserole dish. They made their... I missed that?
So
I'm just gonna go over here and sulk in this corner for totally unrelated reasons.
So how many people know about the terrible weed who aren't local kobolds?
Well, it's been an ongoing problem for the farmers in the area. We learned it from them. We learned it by watching them, technically. So, I guess
Okay.
anyone
All right.
involved in raising sheep in Coomridge would know something about it, or abstain from alcohol.
Hmm.
Why would an outside farmer
Unless they had a
to
bet on.
sabot-
How far did these
murderously
weeds spread
sabotage sheep races?
I mean,
into
this
that one
makes total
first?
sense because that would mean that the blame is not being laid on me. So I say you go with that train of thought.
Hmm.
We already don't think you sabotaged the Rex sheep, Jim. Don't worry
Oh,
about
thank
that.
goodness. May I have
We've
my
understood
totally
you're
not my
terrified
satchel
of it.
back? Am I not the? I like the umbrellas that someone left on the floor here.
Hmm.
I don't mind.
Cavil, do you give Jim's satchel back?
I did already.
Okay.
You just didn't know.
Like,
Jim
Ages
starts.
ago,
Okay.
he asked if he could have it back, and I went, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So
Jim
he's
starts
presumably been
putting-
holding it this whole time.
Jim still canonically asks the question. I'm using the word canonically a lot, but in this case, I don't care. Jim still asked for it back while holding it,
Yeah.
possibly clutching it, afraid that you would take
He's-
it again.
He is not very smart, and he is probably having a breakdown.
His wisdom score has a -2 modifier. His intelligence score has a -1 modifier. He gets
Oh,
by
no.
on his looks. He has a -1 charisma.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Which is to say, he is a generic kobold. He starts
Mhm.
carefully picking up each of the umbrellas and putting them back in his satchel. There's a few that are broken. When he picks them up, he looks at them for a second, doesn't say anything, and then puts them over to the side.
Hmm.
Cavil, can you prestidigitate those fixed?
that is a completely different cantrip.
How should I know? I don't have it.
Hmm.
Do you have mending? I thought you had mending.
gonna-
Nope.
I'm
I
gonna
am
walk
here for
over to
this
the bar
content if
and
someone
ask
with
a
mending
question.
decides to spend 10 minutes fixing cocktail umbrellas. Because that's how long the cantrip costs to cast it once.
Who
Wow.
had mending then?
Hmm. I don't think it's
Okay,
me.
so I almost said Onka. So Mech goes over. That's a different character from a different
That's a
campaign.
different character.
Yes.
Whose name I'm using on social media in some cases. So yeah.
There we go.
All right.
So
yeah. So
Mech
I've walked
goes
over to the bar. Right. And I don't know which one of these kobolds is named what, but I want to ask them some questions about how bad is it if someone did this thing? You know,
Well,
that
they
kind of thing.
They trashed the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could
But
killed
that,
somebody.
right. But Jim is very aware that Jim is afraid of the big sheep. So I don't know.
Well,
who
it's
would do-
definitely
I
a
don't know.
kosher
But what I'm
violation.
wondering, I'm sorry, say that again.
Well, no one got like hurt real bad, so it wouldn't be a big
Okay.
deal unless a kosher inspector showed up, and then it'd be kind of a terrifying thing.
I see. So theoretically, if a kosher inspector or whatever it was showed up, what would they be required to do, and what would they have to abstain from doing in a situation like this?
Imagine, if you will, if this was a TV show or movie or comic scene, this conversation be taking place with an over-the-shoulder shot from Meanie, who is the kobold you're talking to right now, showing you, but then the camera would change focus to show Monty still sulking in that corner behind you. And possibly muttering.
But see, Mech doesn't know how this works, so she's trying to find information.
Yes. I'm not saying Mech definitely knows this is the situation. I'm just saying this amuses me very much. That at this time, Monty is so self-absorbed that Monty is possibly not hearing this conversation.
Okay.
It's possibly mumbling something like,
So,
wouldn't even invite me to do things fire. That's what I do. I'm really good at it. If you want something done right, you come to me to set things on fire. I did it before. Okay, that maybe I won't bring that one up. I won't. That would not do as good a job convincing them as I initially think it would do. So I'm not bringing that up. But really, my own daughter wouldn't even.
Okay, that's the Kosha person, I think.
Oh wait! Oh no, Miney! He's still wearing the badge.
Who's wearing the badge?
Monty is still wearing the Kosha badge.
Oh, okay.
The Kosha Inspector badge. Which, let me look it up. My notes say what the badge actually says.
Okay.
And I somehow scrolled over to the wrong column in my spreadsheet.
Oh no.
Is this bar insured?
Define insured.
That's a no.
Monty is Kosha Probationary Inspector 3rd class.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes. That is exactly what the badge says. It's a very shiny badge. He polishes it frequently.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to Monty across the board. Someone obviously can have a turn
Do
before I get there.
Do I need to define insured?
Well, we were told the bard is assured.
What? No, the bar, not the bard.
I gotta go check my contract for the assurance. I'm just gonna go into the kitchen real quick to see it. From behind the closed door to the kitchen, you hear a kobold scream.
Okay.
We paid how many gold for what?
Oh no. The kobolds have been scammed.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
What do they think this is, Florida?
No. Okay, can I try to talk to Monty? But I want other people to have a turn before I do that. Unless no one else has something they want to do.
Okay. Anyone else?
He's just clinging to the ceiling and pondering and eavesdropping.
Right. Well,
okay.
It looks like you've got a lot on your plate, so I'm just gonna go now.
Uh-oh.
You don't have any idea who might have spiked the big sheep?
I mean,
Food?
You've let me know that I and my friends are not suspects, so that's good enough for me. I'm gonna.
You don't have any.
What?
You don't have any ideas?
Not me.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go take my new umbrella collection and go now.
All right. Since Mech is a bounty hunter and she doesn't know yet if this is a problem, Mech's gonna try to go catch Jim.
No.
Oh, he's just gonna get away now.
For the sake of the recording, I'm moving Jim's character further and further away, and Jen is making Mech follow. By the way, this is like 90% of my after-school D&D games, because I used Foundry for that because I could run it locally, so the kids could use it without me having to give them like a web address.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, I can't. Go ahead and finish your story.
And so the majority of the game, they just be making their characters chase each other on the map. But there was no map that we were actually using. We were just using Foundry for stat collection. It was Theater of the Mind.
Okay, I can do this now.
So this kept running in circles. Like, you used the DM's exposition to catch up on me.
And now we're in the sheep pen. I see that. If we get close enough, I'm going to grab him and bring him back in.
Okay. Give me a grapple check.
Something's not done yet. Grapple check. Oh, I probably have that.
Because
let's see, where's Grandpa?
You have close enough to the... Actually, no, your movement is 40 feet. So if
Mhm.
you both double move, you are going to catch up. No problem.
Okay. Where is it was grapple? I don't see
Athletics.
Yeah,
isn't-
it's a strength check.
Athletics?
Strength athletics.
Okay. Strength check athletics. What do they get?
So with
Oh,
your
my.
nat 20,
Holy cow. All
it's
right.
essentially a scene from Terminator where Jim is running, you're walking, and then you
Uh-huh.
pick Jim up by the scruff of the neck.
Oh, I don't
Jim
wanna
was
kill
like
him.
trying to dodge and weave and like run around trees and underneath a bush and climb over the wrong
Mhm.
part of the fence, and you just walked up and picked Jim up.
Right. Okay, so I've got him, but I don't want to grab him by his neck because I think I'll break his neck. So I'm going to kind of like, sort of like the thing you do if you are a parent of a toddler and you need to pick them up now so you can go somewhere else and their legs just kind of dangle, like pull them to your chest like that. That's what she's going to do with this. I should say
Jim's
they. I
little
think I made her say
feces
them.
dangle. Jim does not know how to process this information.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to bring him back to the bar. But I don't know if I can move Jim's character across this map. But cute. Got him.
Welcome.
This is what I do. Or did.
You catch them.
Yes.
You don't know why you do it, but you bring them back alive. Which I'm not singing
Yep.
to the actual tune because Disney will sue me. That is a song that Goofy sang once.
Mhm. Yeah.
With that said,
All right. Mhm.
Maybe we should buy Jim a drink so he'll stick around in case we have any more questions about sheep.
could
No,
it be one
he's
of the
gonna
ones that
run
comes with
again.
an umbrella?
Hmm? Yeah, I don't mind doing that if you'll stick around.
I don't think he's gonna.
I mean, if I get an umbrella.
It's worth a shot. Drink with an umbrella for our flight risk.
Miney is currently the only one tending bar because the other 3 kobolds that control this tavern are having a very loud argument where you can tell the volume and tone of voice without making out the words through the wall to the kitchen. They are all apparently very upset about the assurance contract that they paid for. That is one of the words that you are able to hear clearly through the wall.
Assurance.
Not insurance.
Right.
Should-
Okay.
I almost wonder if we should be looking for the assurance contractor. Maybe later.
It might be another kobold. It probably is another kobold.
Oh, well, they'll have to chase down the other kobold in the tunnels. We can't get
But-
there.
Cut to Plantain, where Moe's just sipping his morning coffee going, "What?" Cut back to, "Yes, I am very
Oh, my.
assured. What's it to you?"
Do
Cut
you
back
sell it to
to,
other people?
cut back to the tavern,
Mhm.
where Miney
Yes.
serves up a drink with a cocktail umbrella. 5 minutes later, Jim has a drink that has had 2 sips out of it. And actually, I'm going to make a Constitution roll.
Uh-oh.
That's one way to keep them there.
Oh.
Now, it looks like Mech made a roll, because that's the last character I selected.
Oh, okay, that's
Actually,
fine.
Jim is
Uh-huh.
also selected. Jim and Mech are selected, so it said Mech made the roll. But you'll notice that that's a
Okay.
4.
Yes.
And this is not a roll low game system. This is a roll
Yes.
high game system.
Mhm.
I mentioned a lot of stats that Jim has negative stats.
What's his con?
Also a negative stat.
Oh
13
no!
now.
So that was technically a 3. 2 sips in, Jim is sobbing over his umbrella collection. And I
That's
said
unique.
it didn't really matter, but Zim said we could do this and give them bad luck and no one would get hurt, and then maybe we'd win the race. We just have to avoid the ladder over our own gate, and the whole pen system is made from stuff that we took from the safety rails at the racetrack. So it was really easy to take
Wow.
apart to get thread count through without having thread count go through the gate. And it was... Wait, that's where the rails went?
It was a small ladder, so not all of it, clearly.
No, for the pens.
Oh,
Each pen has
Whoops.
a gate
Mhm.
and then railings. And the railings were
Oh.
taken from the racetrack.
whoops.
When Monty asked this question, Jim doesn't even notice. Miney has some very urgent business to do in the kitchen.
Now there's no one tending bar.
No.
Oh, this one doesn't need anything else to drink, I think.
Jim has hit his limit.
Mhm.
Let's see. Tex and
Jim is
Cavill,
giving you the entire plot.
which does
Are
not
all
include.
kobolds like this? If we need to question another kobold, do we just give them a drink?
It's worth a try.
At this moment, I do not wish to interrupt the argument, and that we can all hear, sort of, but it is an interesting tactic. So what do we do?
It does. Cavill?
Yes.
We could. Hobby is just sort of dangling from the ceiling, sort of now extended again, and this is clearly where she wants to be. She has the high ground.
I think if there was a sibling rivalry going on, Cavill could usurp Hobby just by going a bit higher. The ceiling is higher in the middle of the room, and one of the two of you can fly.
That's a problem.
True, yeah.
Anyway, Tex has a question for Cavill,
All right.
which is currently in the chat.
Yes, Tex is going to talk to Cavill about the best way to interview local farmers to find out if any of them have animosity toward the sheep races or know if the root in question is cultivated nearby, because Tex's approach to this would be knock down the door and start asking questions. And she recognizes that this is not an optimal solution in a world that isn't being conquered.
It's essentially not an optimal solution in a world that is being conquered either.
Direct, though.
Well, it's very direct. Points for assertiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I suppose we are, strictly speaking, kind of investigating a crime, so we could knock on the door and start asking questions.
True.
If I could interject, as
Please
the
do.
only sober kobold in the room currently, Monty just sort of looks over at Jim, who has started talking about the contraption they were planning to rig, involving a plush, stuffed black cat and a pendulum system that they were planning to have move in front of Ovis Aries Rex to cross Ovis Aries Rex's path. Maybe it's just because Jim is drunk, but the description does not sound like anything that has any feasibility whatsoever unless several laws of physics are changed.
Mm-hmm.
Those laws involve item durability and space-time coordinates.
Hmm.
I will not go into that in further detail. So, what you're doing here, you're doing under the good graces of the Circle of Tales. As a sort of representative of that, I can say, hey, it's all in the up and up. You're taking care of a quest thing. The moment you step off of this farm, you're outside of the Circle of Tales jurisdiction. You can go and question farmers, but you would probably want to go to Coomridge City first to get permission from the Kingdom of Coomridge. Technically, their leader isn't called a king. Long story that I haven't been told everything about. Don't worry about it. But bottom line, you're stepping outside of one jurisdiction into another. Best to not go kicking in doors and asking questions, even if you do decide to do this in a friendly manner. I mean, I like the assertive thing more, but never mind about that.
Agreed.
Maybe there needs to be a voice of reason, because Monty's not going to be it. I would suggest doing it in the morning, because most of the farmers here are not night owls. They tend to go to bed when the sun goes down. Something about candles costing money or something.
Strange custom.
Well, not everyone can see in the dark very well.
Okay. So what are we to do with this one? And I point to the kobold that's babbling on wherever he's seated.
Make
Maybe on
sure
the ground,
he drinks
like,
a glass of
rolling by
water before bed.
Ah, okay.
Yes, it doesn't
Okay.
seem like he's done very much beside attempt to invoke superstition.
True.
So the only reason, I mean, if he'd seen someone else messing with the feed or knows who someone else who could mess with the feed is, I don't think that Threadcount and their crew are likely to be the problem. They had a plan to jinx Ovis Aries Rex. It involved a stuffed cat.
Right.
So definitely keeping him here to confess that part was very useful.
But apparently he can't drink.
Apparently not.
I don't know. I don't know what humans or other biologicals do with that when their bodies are,
Well, kobolds are smaller.
given this, but
so
yeah.
it takes less volume to get them inebriated. They have less blood. So it's a higher concentration.
right. Well, she's understanding that smaller ones, or they're understanding that smaller ones maybe shouldn't have a large drink of alcohol, but kind of is questioning, like, does this happen to most humans or most biologicals? Because this is weird. Got a babbling kobold crying over here over his drink, and I don't know what to do with him.
By the way, as an aside, I was looking over Monty's spells to see if there's anything he could cast to help the situation, and it occurs to me that he has Cause Fear as a spell.
Oh.
I'm not sure that helps.
Monty has another means of causing fear that is innate to his biology.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to cast a first level arcane trickster spell to be able to
Right.
cause fear.
But he has it to help with the fact that he's just this kobold, really.
I'm just this little red kobold hovering under the tree that's on fire. I think it was a honey tree at some point. It's just fire now.
Mm-hmm.
They won't sting anyone else.
Revenge.
How
Nice.
those bees beat his armor class?
Nostrils.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I rolled a nat 20, huh?
I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
someone made me laugh while I was eating the spicy sky fruit, and it went right up my nose. So Monty goes over, picks up Jim's drink. Jim has totally forgotten about the drink. The umbrella is already folded up and put in Jim's collection, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Takes a sniff, raises an eyebrow again, downs the glass in one shot, and says, normally, when you have a cocktail umbrella, you put it in a cocktail. This is Gear Grinder special.
Oh no.
Monty burps, and a teeny little bit of flame comes out.
Hmm.
Well, that's
I
one
have
way
heard
to
of this. I have heard of this thing. I think at one point our makers thought maybe it would help us move faster, but then one of us exploded and it would cause a chain reaction to the first set of us. So I know what that is. I did not know he was drinking that.
Yes, it's essentially rocket
You
fuel. This is
dilute it
severely
enough,
watered
it
down.
makes very good bombs. I mean, if you don't
I've
dilute
seen
it, it
that,
makes
yes.
much too good of bombs.
This is severely watered down, but not enough, I would say. So, I'm just going to put this glass down here, and I think I'm going to go get a glass of water as well.
Okay.
And Monty looks over at the door to the kitchen, where the yelling is still being heard. You know what? I think I'll go somewhere else to get my glass of water. They've got some things to work out.
Oh, dear. Well, if it's
you all have
nighttime.
fun. Good night.
Right, it's nighttime,
Bye.
huh? I suppose we should head to bed ourselves at some point. When's the next race?
I don't think
Tomorrow
anyone knows right
evening.
now that's in
They
this
they
room.
do the races
tomorrow evening?
first thing in their morning, which is technically evening.
Okay. Has this kobold passed out completely? Because if not, I'm going to go try to get him a glass of water.
Technically, Jim is awake. Jim
Okay.
will probably not remember any of this, but Jim is
Okay, so I'm going to, and this is going to be ridiculous, I'm sure, but I'm going to try to go into I'm going to go behind the bar to see if there's any, like, water sources there, and if not, I'm going into the kitchen. Oh, Tex is going to do it instead. I'll go behind the bar, you go to the
Oh, no.
kitchen. No? You're
I'm-
measuring something?
No, I am preparing to take my rest.
Ah, got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to just scoot over here, see if I can find anything. Do I find anything?
Someone's going to
while I
walk into the bar and say, I mean, normally they have a suit of armor for decoration, but that's a very large, strange design for a suit. It moved. All right,
Right.
so
Do I
the
roll
bar-
something or do I just find water? Go ahead.
So there's 3 barrels behind the bar. One of them says water. One of them says
Okay.
clean water, and one of them says
Okay.
not just water.
I think
One of
we
them
want
says, "I can't believe it's not water."
It's actually air.
It's air.
I think we might want to
Okay.
look for the clean
Clean
water.
one. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna like go around the bar because I'm afraid if I step on the bar, I'm gonna break something, and then try to reach for whichever one is the clean water.
I believe
fit
the
in
bar
here.
is still a bunch of planks held up by sawhorses at this point. Because
yeah.
the
So I'm gonna
previous
like
bar was
reach
flattened.
over the thing that they were, the behind the bar, and get a glass of water out of that and go bring it back.
Okay. This
Yeah.
is hilarious
Okay.
to me.
It was
so you-
hilarious to me as well.
Okay,
Get
so
the
you
water,
bring
right?
Jim
Or
a
was-
glass
are
of
you meant-
water.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm going to say when you give Jim the glass, Jim
I can
makes
go
a
over here
comment
now,
about no
okay.
umbrella, but then downs it anyway, and then appears to get more drunk. All of your
Maybe I picked
senses
the wrong
that you
barrel.
have tell you that
Mhm.
you did in fact give Jim water. There might be
Huh.
something psychosomatic going on.
Could be.
That or the
Probably
second
is.
sip just kicked in.
Yeah, point.
Okay.
So anyway, I was saying that do you know your eyes are very, very blue, and it's a little unnerving. It's like if somebody took some blue food coloring and then shone a light behind it. It's kind of like that.
Okay. I'm going to carry this one to whatever bed upstairs is empty and leave him there.
That's
That's the
fair.
plan. Mm-hmm. Where's the satchel? He's gonna probably be even more
He's
panicked
wearing
than
it.
he was now if he
He's
doesn't see
wearing
it.
it.
He's carrying it? Okay, good.
Yes.
He's wearing it. Excellent. So I pick him up like a little baby again, you know?
Where's that
And if you
image
can-
that Beth found of someone carrying a cat just held out in front of them, and the body is getting really long and the legs are just dangling?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But that's what I'm gonna do. If my character and Jim is connected, I'll just walk up the stairs and probably stay up there.
I found it, by the way.
Oh good.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
a different GIF. Beth found a different GIF, which is also a long cat getting uppies, which is adorable.
Wow.
But in this case, Jim is unconscious, so Jim cannot ask for uppies.
Yes. So I'm going to pick him up. All right. Well, just assume that that's what I'm doing because my character can't pick him up.
It's
You
fine.
know?
Most of this is theater of the mind. It's okay. So
Yeah,
you-
it's
you
fine.
take Jim
So,
upstairs to
yeah.
find a place to put him. Oh my gosh, Beth,
Mhm.
that GIF. That cat does
What
not
do we
wish
have
to.
here?
You have
Oh,
me yet to be
no.
a pendulum. You have me yet till time like the clock.
Death for mother, death for 1,000 years.
That thing's gonna fight back at some point, I think.
Yes.
Look at that face. Oh no.
How long have we
Oh,
been
no.
playing?
We've been playing for
Really?
about an hour. I'm saying that everyone who's ready to go to bed can go to bed, and I can stop. I can pause the recording.
Okay.
Yes.
That seems like a good idea.
All right. So I'm gonna
All right.
try to find a recharger up there and sleep,
There are no
essentially.
rechargers in the inn.
Okay.
You'll just have to rely on
Well,
your internal generator filling up
I'll
your
just sit over-
batteries while you.
I'll just
wait
sit over
around
here.
for 4 hours.
Sulking in the corner where someone else was sulking in the corner. It is the sulking corner.
Gonna label that map sulking corner. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to pause the recording while you all take a long rest. And we are back, and there were absolutely no shenanigans. There was some mischief, but it only happened once. There was a shenan. May it not shenan again.
Yeah.
So everyone goes to bed. Well, except
Mhm.
for the Warforged, who don't go to bed. They sort of just... One of them is standing in the sulking corner,
Yes.
and one of them is standing by the fireplace.
Would like to figure out if there's some place in the stables that she can snooze, like in the rafters or something.
You have rooms.
Yes, but she
You
wants
have
to make
rooms in
sure
the
that no
inn.
one's putting. She wants to make sure that no one is going to try to put stuff into Ovisaries Rex's feed again,
Okay.
especially in the middle of the night.
Okay. Well, this is the time when kobolds are becoming more active, but sheep go to bed. So
Mm-hmm.
I have moved you into the stables. Move your character wherever you want to be, and we'll just say that you're in the rafters above that spot. If you can't get in, click on the door to open.
Right.
And I'm going to close it again because we don't know Ovisaries Rex again.
Good idea.
Wait,
The
Are
GM
we
might
opening
actually
doors?
do that. There's some doors that can't be opened by the players.
okay. Tex backs up and squares her shoulder.
No.
Bye.
Oops.
Wait, what? We've started again?
Yes.
We have. And Ellie was making a callback to a certain door where the attempt was made with considerable buffs put in place, but there was still a bounce. Good times.
Good times. Anyway, yes, Javi wants to be up in the rafters above the feed trough here.
I am moving Chadrick, the cool guy, off the map for now, or out of the way for now at least.
Well,
We're going to say canonically that Chadrick is. Use that word.
that's actually a really good idea, Hobby, and I am going to follow your lead.
Not into the rafters, I hope.
No.
A kobold looks up into the rafters, sees a dark feline shape, crouched low, barely able to be seen in the darkness. And they look over,
Snoring.
and there's a 7-foot-tall robot with glowing eyes just standing on top
Yeah,
of another rafter that has cracked significantly under her weight.
I am the night. I am vengeance. I am... Oh, God!
Or possibly
No, I am going to shut down my eye lights without turning off the sensors.
So basically,
Then
you're
just-
both trying to be stealthy.
Yes, I'm leaning against the wall.
Okay. I would like both of you to make stealth checks. We're going to use that same stealth check for the entire evening.
What is that one?
Well, Tex probably thinks that Tex is doing a very good job,
Oh,
Yes.
but that's a nat 1. Hobby has
Tex
to
was going to
20.
spend her inspiration, but Tex doesn't have any inspiration because Tex spent her inspiration the last time we played and hasn't gotten the GM to laugh yet.
Not this character that you.
People are positioning themselves before the kobolds go to sleep.
Well, before
the kobolds
the
wake up.
non-kobolds
Wake
go to
up.
sleep. The kobolds are waking up to. The kobolds have started their day with a race,
Okay.
and now they're going through their normal routine for the night, which is their day because nocturnal.
Okay,
Really?
I see. All right.
But
So
everyone
yeah,
else,
Hobby and Tex
is
have
going to-
stationed themselves in the sheep pens to watch for anyone coming in during the night.
I'm going to move Jim off the map. Also, Jim is technically upstairs. Oh my gosh, I moved Jim way off the map. It's too far.
Whoops.
Jim stepped into the void.
Uh-oh.
I can't go in.
You have
in
to
where?
click the
Go
door
around.
to open.
I have
or
clicked
the
the
DM
door,
can
but
move you.
Oh, there you go.
Cathal will climb into the rafters. I can't go in the sheep pen.
Or just hover
You can
up.
now.
No, I can't go in now.
You-
I cannot
Oh.
go in the sheep pen.
I opened the door for you.
Well, I
Because
can't go in the sheep pen. Oh, it was mad because I was not dragging through the space which had the door in it.
Yeah.
Ah,
It was
that
saying
happens.
you can't go through this wall.
It doesn't care if I can. Yeah, it doesn't care if I can path, apparently, if I'm not using the right path, which I am mad about.
Also,
Understand.
Foundry was apparently... I was trying to be helpful and move your character, and you were moving your character, and Foundry didn't know how to handle that, so on my screen I see 2 cavils.
Oh dear.
Now, interestingly, both cavils are in the same spot, just slightly offset.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't even cast mirror image.
Which would explain why the 2 cavils are kind of overlapping.
Ah.
Blur.
If,
Can't
imagine
cast
if
that
you will,
either.
imagine if you
I
will,
heard you.
that someone observing Cavil has astigmatism.
Okay. So with everybody else over in the sheep pen, I figure if I stay here, I might find out, we've had a shenan, and I'm waiting to see if there's a shenan again,
Mm-hmm. That's
as I
pretty
sit in the sulking corner, or stand in the sulking corner.
I have clicked on a character that is not within eyesight of the elephant in the room, and now I can't click on anything in the tavern because
Oh no.
there's no characters I can click on because I can't see the characters. Okay, I'm moving this character over. Dirge is not canonically there.
Okay.
I'm changing tonight's episode to canonically.
Sure.
There we go. Now I can see where Mech is.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Cavill, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
And Mech, are you trying to be stealthy at all, or are you just powering down for the...
That's not mine. I guess I'm gonna try stealth
Okay.
and be the creepy thing in the
23.
corner. Yes.
You are being
Your
stealthier than the party rogue.
I also rolled way higher than the party rogue.
I
Yes,
have
you-
the 3. No, I don't. I have an 8.
Yes.
Sorry
So
if I interrupted.
the large killer robot in the corner
Mm-hmm.
is a bit more obvious than the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, this is not official. However, okay, no, the elephant is slightly stealthier than you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it even
Well,
said
based
elephant
on-
for the roll.
Oh gosh, it
Does have the
did.
elephant.
Elephant. Yeah,
Actually, I think an elephant would have a penalty to stealth.
I think so too. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are stealthier than the elephant.
Okay.
But people aren't going to talk about the elephant. They're going to talk about the killer robot.
Mhm.
For obvious
I
reasons.
mean, have any of them seen me kill someone?
They
Oh.
saw you Terminator after Jim,
Right. Okay.
but that was about
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just figured, if
I'm
everybody's
somewhat-
got the other part covered, I'll be here. Go ahead.
I'm somewhat concerned about this pink elephant GIF that Ellie has found that looks disturbingly like the artwork for the elephant in the room that I found.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you're not being stealthy, but you look like
No.
you're sleeping. So there's that. Same
Mhm.
thing for Tex.
Yeah, I just won't move.
The rogue and bard are being super stealthy in the rafters. This is all good too. And
They're
you
used to
settle
it.
down. You settle down for a long Coomridge nap, which I assume for Hobby is like Hobby's eyes are closed, but the ears are sort of like radar dishes where they just sort of move in any direction towards any
Mhm.
sound, real or imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then you wake up and get really alert and look at a spot for a few seconds where there's absolutely nothing.
That's what you think. She knows it's there.
You have inspiration, don't you? Yes, you do. So far, the only person who's earned inspiration this evening already has it.
Sorry.
Oh, Millie just got home from work. Okay, I'm going to put Chadwick back on the map. I had moved you off the map, and I just said, well, Chadwick's sleeping. Or possibly taking a bath because a sheep did eat you. Briefly.
True. I could be a little sheepish about my hygiene. You know how it is.
I think we'd rather you were less sheepish about it, really, considering sheep.
Well, you know
Hygiene.
how it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We are going to fleece these puns for all their worth.
Well, actually, today at work, I had a lot of sheep cheese.
Oh, wow.
We can make cheese out of them?
The milk. The milk.
But yeah,
Meanie immediately stops trying to strain sheep wool.
Thank goodness.
Anyway, the elephant takes 2 steps to the side so that you are left exposed. No. No.
We just had a scene like this. Hold on.
This is a repeat of what happened earlier.
Yeah. I had to chase down the kobold.
I just got off of work. Let me have this.
Yes.
Peace out.
I just appeared. I have become the elephant in the room.
I can change your icon to the elephant. I'm not going to, but I could. I already changed your icon to a sheep for the sheep race.
Right.
Beautiful.
With
But
that,
yes, sorry.
So Jim spilled everything. Then was given a glass of water. There's 3
Mhm.
barrels behind the bar right now. One of them says water. One of them says clean water, and one of them says not just water. So Jim was given a glass from the clean water barrel and taken to bed. And everyone is starting to find their spot where they're going to spend the night. The kobolds are starting to get up and be more mobile because they're nocturnal. But Mech is sleeping in the corner with a very low stealth check. Tex is sleeping, and imagine, if you will, air quotes, in the barn with a much lower stealth check. And the bard and rogue are apparently doing very stealthy reconnaissance work in the rafters in the barn. What is Chadwick going to be doing this evening?
I mean, I'm stuck between hanging out at the bar or sleeping on top of Ovisaries Rex.
That would be hilarious.
Me and him have mind melded.
That is a very loose interpretation of what took place, and I'm upset that I have to use the word interpretation, but that is an accurate word. Something like that did take place.
I did it multiple times during that race. That I won.
The DM was there for that and is still concerned, even though he was not just there for that, he was there for that content, and is still somewhat concerned.
I just want it out there that I won the race. I have the
But
fake
not as the
trophy.
jockey, as the sheep.
Yeah. I was both the jockey and the sheep and the mascot. What do you want out of
You
me?
weren't even wearing the sheep costume anymore. Tex was wearing it after a swap. You still had most of the
Alright.
makeup on your face, though, including several cotton swabs that had been glued to you.
Yes. I'm very, very good at it. Because
You did have
Sorry.
you did have Cobalt on your shoulders.
I did. I took the jockey and I put him on my shoulders. And don't forget, I was also the mascot. So, like, I was everything. I was the moment.
I love that we're doing the session recap over an hour into the recording.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for the last session, it was for the session before
Will
last.
be a session recap?
What's that?
I wasn't there, so does it truly count?
I mean, nothing compares to the page recaps that happened early on.
Oh gosh, those are wonderful.
I cut those out and released them as a separate podcast.
We need more of them. I can always page recap when needed. But yeah, I'm going to be sleeping on top of Ovisaries Rex, using him as a pillow and blanket.
I'm going to ask for an animal handling check because while Ovisaries Rex is hunkering down for the evening, and they are a big, fluffy pillow, there is the possibility that they might roll over in their sleep. So you need to position yourself so that you don't end up being more two-dimensional than the evening started you at.
Due to our previous time bonding mentally, can I have advantage?
I would offer it if you weren't trying to bond with someone who's asleep.
Okay. No.
That's a 5.
That was going to be a 16 before it was a 3.
I know. It
So
was so
you know how the dice fade away after you roll them?
Yeah.
If you're quick enough, you can grab onto them with your cursor and drag them around the screen before they...
Oh.
And now everyone's going to roll dice to check this for themselves.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, it works.
Did you just pick up Texas dice and drag it around?
I am rolling Texas dice.
And I don't think it fades away until after you're done playing with it, so that you can keep the dice for a very long period of time if you don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
So I would say about an hour into your sitting,
I got a
Ovis
19.
Aries rolls over on
Roll
its
better than
back,
I did.
which from an outside point of view looks adorable because it just takes its feet, which they're not little feet, let's be honest, but it takes its little feetsies, even though they're not little, and sort of just like sort of waves them in the air. But the problem is you were on Ovisaries Rex's back when it rolls over.
I mean, I gotta use my paladin defense hit points for something.
I'm not going to have you
Dex
take
save.
damage.
But I mean,
Ovisaries
like, you know I'm not using it for battle.
Rexy is still mostly wool, so that's a lot of padding. The weight is distributed. Do you know that? So monster trucks, apparently, I didn't know this because I don't go to monster truck rallies, and even then, most people who go to monster truck rallies don't know this. The weight of the monster trucks is so evenly distributed by the tires, which are not inflated to a very high pressure, that you could technically have like Bigfoot the monster truck roll over you and not like break bones.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be the most comfortable situation, but it can happen. Which is something that Chadwick, not knowing about monster trucks, okay, maybe knowing about monster trucks in the future because you're from the future, but whatever.
Of course I know
It's
about monster trucks.
It's something that comes to your mind as you realize that you're now pinned by a giant sheep.
So we'll just take a nap down there.
I mean, we're going to bed.
Talk about counting sheep.
And also talk about weighted blankets.
Yes.
This blanket is severely weighted.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, roll for comfy.
You're gonna roll for comfy.
Let's see.
Patrick.
Would comfy be survival?
In this
Performance?
case, I would say survival is an
Persuasion?
apt description, even if it's not the right stat. I'm saying it should be.
No, wait. Roll for comfy. I think that's performance.
Just make a d20 roll. That's
No,
a
I don't
12.
wanna be
You are
comfy.
not very comfy. You want to be
Oh,
comfy.
no.
You can try to convince yourself that you're comfy, but your left leg is starting to fall asleep.
I convinced myself I'm comfy.
you roll a 19 charisma check to persuade yourself. You try to look at the bright side of things. Look, it's only the one leg that's falling asleep. I can't feel the toes on the right foot, though. Oh no.
It's not important. I didn't like those
no.
toes.
If I can't feel anything from the waist down, there's probably nothing wrong with them. If there was something wrong, I'd be feeling pain.
Exactly. The thing is that, like, you know, it's like when you get like a really nice massage and like they like put the weight on your back and then you're like, that's just what it is. It's fine. It's just for a long period of
Ovisaries
time.
Rex shifts again, and the pins and needles start.
Oh, cool. My nerves are still working. Love it.
Apparently, pins and needles is not the blood coming back into a limb when it wakes up. It's letting you know, hey, the nerve was pinched.
Yeah, I do know this.
I did not until
Chadrick.
recently.
Chadrick, when
Yeah.
you want to be rescued, please reach a limb out and tap twice.
Oh, let me see. Okay, I do.
He rolled a 15
I rolled an acrobatics
check.
check to make sure I can stick my hand out to do so.
You see the tips of some fingers just reach out of the fluff, barely, and go tap, tap on the stone floor through the straw.
I really
Thanks.
hope that you guys are excited that I came in this late in the session just for this really in-depth sleeping simulator with like 6 rolls.
I lament that you weren't here for the interrogation of Jim,
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh well.
What if it was
because
a
that
banshee?
was
will-
hilarious.
Tex will go over and lift the sheep so that Chadrick can escape.
It's like the old cartoons where someone who's extremely powerful is like vacuuming or something, and they just lift up the entire couch with one hand to vacuum under it. Only in this
Pretty
case, it's
much.
Tex lifting up a sheep. And it
I'm
looks
out,
like
I'm
Chadwick
out.
is stumbling out of the barn. Ignore Monty. Monty's not
I
there.
missed the door.
You missed the door.
I'm gonna just your text. Please help me. I am but a small baby.
Oh my.
I am unable to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're over here. Did you move yourself over here?
I did.
Okay, so Beck is just going to blink at you like, what are you doing?
It was a long day. And I don't want to be near the sheep. I'm kind of.
Oh,
I'm
I
sheepish.
understand.
Sheepish to admit it, but I'm a little shorn about the whole situation.
Okay. Well, I am currently standing in the sulking corner. Would you like to stand here instead?
We can both be in the sulking corner.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, now I gotta roll the sulk. 23.
That's a 23
Oh.
performance. You are very
That was a
good at
nat-
sulking.
No, it wasn't.
You know what? I
It was
did not
just
roll a
appropriate.
performance check for Monty when Monty was sulking. I should probably see how
Right.
well Monty was sulking.
So like, yeah, I'm selling the sulking. I am sulking so good that everyone's like, oh dang, that's a sulking corner. Gotta let them be.
You
There's no
sulk better
question
than
about my
Monty.
Wow. Yeah.
Monty started it, you perfected it.
Exactly. See, the thing is that's it's always important to be the person who comes second. That's why Patrick never starts any fights. So we can
Chadwick just
perfect
finishes them by kill stealing
Yeah, exactly.
through a wall.
It's an artwork.
Sometimes. It's a good thing Monty is not here, or Monty would feel like you're trying to one up him, and he would attempt to sulk harder.
Sulk off.
Trying to show you can sulk better than me.
Sounds like a
Show you
challenge
who
now.
Sulks better. I'll show you who sulks better right now. See how good you can sulk when I can sulk way better than this does not happen because Monty is not here.
No, he's not.
See how well you can sulk when you're on fire. Fire. You'd be on fire more than you could be on fire. You'd be on fire for just a brief amount of time. I'd stay on fire. That'd be a sick burn. Actually, I don't know if you're probably pretty. So maybe you wouldn't have a sick burn, but you burn. That's the thing.
God, this dialogue.
Chadrick is just sitting there, just like muttering whenever people come by who like aren't techs and like who aren't part of the party,
Yeah.
just to like really
Yeah.
sell it, just to be like, oh my gosh, like I won the race and like I don't even get my own place and like the sheep don't even respect me.
Mac reaches
I-
out and pets Chadrick on the head and says, there.
Me.
Up yours, sheep moralists. We'll see who rolls over on who.
Exactly.
I think you broke me.
That's a
I
great
found
thing.
Yeah.
I found a GIF of Mech trying to comfort Chadrick.
Yes.
Pat.
Yes. They're there. They're there.
That or when Bart Simpson is on death row and the Reverend comes to comfort him. They're there.
Oh.
Don't talk me, I'm angry. That's what that GIF
Mhm.
says. That's not what the
That's
GIF is
it.
actually saying, but that seems to be the
But
body
it's-
language.
That is the body language.
Yep.
This one's
Nobody
angry.
appreciates how good of a sheep I was.
Oh.
We appreciated
We all
it.
The sheep are just jealous that I beat them at their own thing.
That is definitely an opinion you can have.
This is going to end with the kobolds lifting Chadrick over their shoulders, over their heads, and going sheep, 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 isn't it?
No, they think it's hilarious at how bad a sheep Chadrick was.
Oh, no.
Remember, they weren't expecting the costume to be believable. They wanted it to be bad on purpose. They were just trying
Bad
to see
sheep,
how far they
bad
could go.
sheep.
We'll pass.
Put a wool over
I-
their eyes. Let them know.
Look, I know you're not feeling so good, so I mean, our day is starting, but yours is ending. So here's a nightcap, and they hand you a glass of what looks like water.
Can I turn it into beer?
You don't need to turn it into anything alcoholic. It looks like water.
No. I'm trying to
Isn't-
make it more.
Beer would reduce the alcoholic content of this beverage.
Okay, never mind. I'm going to town.
It's Everclear.
It is
It's ever.
watered down Gear Grinder special.
Oh, good. Yeah, I just take it, and then if I need more, I'll drink out of my little flask.
Make a Constitution save.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. I do want to remind you that I'm immune to being diseased.
This is not a disease.
It's not a disease.
It is technically a poison, like all
Constitution
alcoholic
save.
beverages are.
Constitution save.
Constitution save.
Oh my
That
god.
is a nat one. I couldn't be happier. You know,
You
that's the
are
second
soft.
person who got drunk off of just one glass of this stuff. Actually, the last one got drunk off of 2 sips. Yeah, I don't think we watered it down enough. We were supposed to put water in it? Oh dear.
Okay. Crash, what's my BAC level at now?
Shouldn't that be your ABC?
Well,
Your alcohol
you've
blood
moved-
count?
I will say
No.
that for comedic effect, you have moved into whole numbers.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow. I am now babysitting Chadrick.
Which actually probably means that I'm back to normal.
Could be.
You're ready
Yeah.
to trip over the border of a circle and teleport back in time accidentally.
And also, I think probably my beer aura is probably back up.
It's a good thing that there's no organic beings in range.
Right.
Can't get any more
Because Miney is hiding behind the bar
Yeah.
again.
Clever.
Yep.
Everclear grinder special.
Could be worse, could be evanescence. That would wake you up inside.
It's true. And bring you to life.
You know, I've just become so numb. But yeah, I'm going to go to... Chadrick is going to enjoy being at a higher BAC.
To sleep with?
Yep, that's the best way to sleep. He doesn't have a problem at all.
I am trying to find which of these status icons says poison, and I'm doing a very bad job of it. And every time I mention something like this, Ellie is just like, oh yeah, it's this row this far down. But there it is. Found it. There we go.
There you go.
You have the poisoned icon. Congratulations.
Oh, no.
Hopefully, for anything that you actually need to make a roll for, we'll remember that you have the poisoned effect, because we as a group keep forgetting that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
mean,
poison effect continues to never roll disadvantage for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Effect thing go once, and I was very careful not to do things that would get the disadvantage roll.
For the record, it's column 3, row 5.
Yes, thank you.
okay,
Okay, there's
alright,
your
you know
inspiration.
what?
There you go.
I'm gonna lay hands on myself when I wake up in the morning.
Does that cure a hangover?
Yes.
You're technically long resting in the chair at the table. You might be pretending to be conscious. You might think you're conscious, but you're not going to remember this in the morning.
Because you can expend 5 hit points from my pool of healing to neutralize poison.
That's poison.
Yes, but then you'd be
Chadrick
sober.
spends 8 hours. Chadrick spends 8 hours dreaming that he's sitting awake at the table.
That
Not
looks
that this is
I look-
based on my own dreams.
that looks so cool for A.
Chadrick
matters
has
to me.
Chadrick has a dream where he wakes up, spends 5 hit points from his lay on hands to remove poison, then goes about his day, only to then wake up with a splitting hangover. So Jex comes downstairs and looks around the room. It's not that busy. The rush in the tavern for kobolds is right when the race, like right before the race happens and right after the race happens. After that, it's daytime for kobolds, so they got jobs to do. I mean, there's...
Daytime for kobolds in
Oh, please
Coolridge.
no. I already gave you inspiration. I'm not giving you inspiration for singing a parody of Springtime for Hitler. And it's a good thing I don't put this on YouTube because I would immediately get demonetized even if I was... Well,
Yes.
I'm not monetized, but never mind. They would monetize me just to demonetize me. We are
This was
giving
so
you
bad. We're
this
going to show you what
bonus
money
just so we
looks
can
like and then
take
take
it
it away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jex comes downstairs, looks around the room. It's mostly empty except for Mech sulking in the corner and
Yes.
Chadrick being Chadrick in the corner. And, which is to say, not sober. And also
Yeah, I'm
possibly
doing
still
good.
sulking.
Yes, it's a way of life. It's not a phase, Dad.
Somewhere in another part of the continent, Morley goes, "You see?"
Oh, yes.
And I was like,
that
different
tracks.
conversation. We're not even in this campaign. What?
Right.
Now,
Oh my gosh.
finish patching up that hole in the fourth wall. Told you to stop using Eldritch Blast in the house. And Jax just walks over and says something to Eni, and Eni goes, yeah, I guess it's okay. You sure you can solve the problem with the assurance? No, I don't know, maybe, but, it's worth having a conversation with Mo, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I guess. All right. Goes over, opens the door, and goes into... Millie is typing.
Poor Chadrick.
Chadrick has gone so long accidentally sober and responsible that he can't handle the ever-clear grinder.
Oh my.
Could be
Yeah.
worse. It could have been a fireball, which, if it's Gear Grinder Special, the name is literal.
Yep.
It's very literal.
So nobody tried to break into the sheep pens overnight?
Well, it's about halfway through the evening.
Oh,
Chadrick
okay.
is still drunk because it's Gear Grinder Special Chadrick. Chadrick has worked long and
Sorry,
hard. Sorry?
I heard Jex came down and thought it was morning.
Oh no, Jex came down in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And went
Jax has
into the-
turned nocturnal.
I don't notice.
But this is the time the kobolds are up.
Mhm.
And is there a reason why you rolled 2d20? for a-
Because I have disadvantage because I'm poisoned.
you're trying to perceive.
I'm trying to
What-
see if I notice
Trying
that
to
someone walked downstairs.
You were vaguely aware of Jex coming over and having words with the kobolds at the bar before walking. You didn't make out the words. It was something along the lines probably of how Chadrick is so cool and throws the best parties.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm the coolest. Thank you so much for noticing, Jax.
He's not in the room.
You're pretty
anymore.
sure Jex gave you a thumbs up as he walked past.
Okay.
Awesome.
Jex walked nowhere near you, but you're pretty sure that when he walked past you, a thing he definitely did not do, but you're sure he did, he gave you a big thumbs up.
Oh my gosh, we're friends.
Also, considering how you're feeling right now, I do need to turn the pink elephant back on for ability purposes.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, and so now I'm like talking to the elephant.
The elephant comes down and has a seat, like, Chadrick, we gotta talk. This is starting to affect your performance. How many trunks am I holding up?
I don't know. What?
What color is my heart-shaped balloon that I'm holding?
Blue.
I don't think I've ever seen you this bad before.
It's been so long, I forgot. I can't believe how bad I am.
One of these
And so-
days, your liver is going to give out. You don't have a ring of regeneration to take care of you.
No, I gotta borrow that from Paige.
Meanwhile, Mech is standing
You
there going,
haven't even
"Who
met
is he talking
Paige."
to?"
You shouldn't know
All
who
right,
Paige is. And when I say you shouldn't know who Paige is, I mean that both in plot-wise you shouldn't know, and also you really should not meet Paige. The universe is not ready for that.
It's like all the people who like fought to keep Hero and Paige apart.
We are lucky. We are so lucky that there's only one Tabaxi you hang out with, and they aren't a 7-foot-tall child.
That's right.
All right, so Mech has gone over to the bar to talk to whichever kobold's in the middle. Okay, I need 2 large glasses, if you have them, that is actually only water.
Okay.
Oh no.
The kobold, you are talking to Meanie again. And Meanie
Yes.
looks behind the bar. Technically, not that hard to do because you can see
Mhm.
through the bar. It's a couple of points. But,
Right.
which of these was it? Meanie? We labeled them! You don't have to be so testy. Okay.
Just water.
They give you
nothing
a
else in
bucket
it.
of water.
This will do. I'll go back.
So I'm calling it now, officially, Chadrick's shoulder angel is a pink elephant.
Good. I would like to dodge the water.
I'm not going to throw it at you. I'm going to put it in front of you and hope you drink some. Like right in front of you on the table. Plug. Try this.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
The elephant sighs and says, "It's more Gear Grinder special. Just chow down, I guess."
Yeah, and I
Bottoms
drink it. I drink it.
Heck is now waiting for repercussions on how long it takes Chadrick to figure out what he drank.
With an investigation skill of 9, well, investigation roll of 9, I'm going to say Chadrick assumes it actually is Gear Grinder special.
It's so
Okay.
sad. I got a nat 20 for the other one. We were at disadvantage, so
Unfortunately, you just made me laugh, so I have to check the box that says now you have inspiration,
Oh.
which you will clearly spend frivolously, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I just realized I still have a cobalt jockey in my pocket.
What?
You put that in your equipment, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, yes, you added Cobalt Jockey to your inventory.
You did.
Oh.
I am removing that. You were not allowed to add a Cobalt Jockey to your inventory. You had it next to the tinderbox. You know that causes problems. I do appreciate that your inventory still does include 600 Fantasy Hilton points.
Well, of course, I haven't been able to spend them yet.
Keep in mind they do expire after a while.
I know.
This plot has slowed down to a snail's pace, and I couldn't be happier. Although I do want to wrap up this arc eventually. I'm enjoying the journey.
You know what I feel about plot? Don't.
So in the meantime, what's going on in the sheep pen?
Well, you think you may have seen a mouse once.
Twitch, 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 twitch.
It
Okay, but what
sort
size
of
was the
came in
mouse?
through a hole in the wall, and it looked in your general direction, and then walked back out through
The
the same
food
hole.
there is the food there is great.
The hole in the wall. Yes.
I'm
Okay.
just smiling at that one. So I got that reference. But in any case, Mech, as the only sober, non-imaginary person in that corner, I would like you to make a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh, can you perceive my elephant?
No.
Oh, what is it, Pav?
Tex?
Wait,
Not Tex. Mech?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm very spacey right now.
It's
What
okay.
was I supposed to be doing?
perception check at disadvantage.
Perception check at disadvantage. Okay,
If you click on
so
perception, you should see a button that says disadvantage.
I was going to say I was
Perception.
pretty sure I wasn't involved in this.
yeah, sorry, I got lost.
It's
Yeah,
well,
okay. I see perception on the character sheet.
yeah. Click on the
And
word.
then-
If you click the word perception,
It'll give you choices.
Oh,
and
so
you want-
disadvantage.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
What did I
that's
do?
a 15.
Oh, look at your disadvantage rolls. Look at that.
Okay. You hear a sizzling / hissing sound.
From
Now
where?
that could be bacon frying, but
Oh,
you're pretty sure the stove in the kitchen is on the other side of the fireplace. And you're too far away from that. You're hearing it just on the other side of the wall, right behind Shadwick.
Can I also
Okay.
attempt to perceive?
Well,
I won't sense it, but
disadvantage doesn't stack, so yes, you can try to make a perception check at disadvantage.
no.
Oh,
Man, the other
Nope,
one was
that was a
18.
nat
I'm
2.
so mad.
Brings
no.
up to a 7. You definitely do not hear any sizzling sound.
I'm
If you
still
do,
talking
you're
to the
thinking of
elephant.
breakfast.
Okay, since I don't know what that sizzling sound is, I mean, it could be something about to explode, so I'm going to attempt to grapple Chadrick and move him across the room with me.
Wait, can I
Chadrick,
see
do
through
you-
the wall? Is there anyone behind the wall?
Not currently.
Because I can see through walls, kinda.
Oh,
You have blind
Kind.
sight. That is true. But when I click on your
Okay, try it.
character, I do not see anything appearing on the other side of that wall. So no, you do not
I
see
just
anything
wanted
through
to
the wall.
know.
okay.
So Chadwick, do you contest being
The
grappled?
grapple. By
No,
a bounty
the
hunter.
thing is that this is a teammate. I kind of just go with it.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
pick
mean,
him up,
they just
sort of
brought
like.
you a bucket of Gear Grinder Special.
Yeah, and I
Surely
say
they can be
goodbye to
trusted.
the elephant.
All right,
The
I'm gonna do
elephant
the same
grabs your
thing.
other arm to pull you. This has no
Oh, no.
functional element.
Anything.
The elephant provides no element of help whatsoever, but it's how you are perceiving events.
But what if I'm feeling truncated? Anyways,
Anyway,
Oh,
so
I'm
you're
trying
getting
to.
dragged
Yeah.
bye.
the room.
Right. I'm thinking maybe I've like picked him up like I picked up the kobold and just kind of.
Oh, that's hilarious.
going over
yes,
here.
that is canon.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it that
you-
way. It worked so
you-
well before, so.
Yes, you pick up Chadwick like a small child that you're not quite sure if their diaper needs changing or not, so you're holding them at a distance. Chadwick
Yes.
does not canonically wear a diaper, but still.
No.
So Chadwick is being held at arm's length, but airborne and carried
Yes.
away.
Mhm.
And at that exact moment, the corner of the wall, the sulking corner, is no more.
Looking corner, yes. Something blew up then.
There's splinters everywhere. I'm going to ask both of you to text. You don't need to make a roll. Everyone heard the big bada boom.
Did
I am going to want
No.
Constitution saves from Mech and Shadrick.
Okay. So let me find my feed again.
Is it right-
Constitution save. Let's see.
No,
Where is that? Try and find it. Sorry,
I got a nat 1.
Oh, there's Constitution. And are we doing this at? We are not doing this at disadvantage, correct?
Oh, I
well,
am.
You aren't.
No, you are,
not
but I'm
drunk.
not. Okay.
The
Constitution.
elephant?
Is it an ability check or a
it's-
saving throw?
Save.
Saving throw.
Okay.
You're trying to avoid explosion damage.
I got a nat 1.
What did I get?
Okay.
21.
So you make it. You take 4 points of damage. Chadwick is going to take
Okay.
the full 8 because you were at a distance from it, so you weren't in the epicenter. That corner.
Am I
of the
given to
building-
understand that?
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
That corner,
That
of, the
corner of the
building
building.
is no more. Significant portion of the kitchen is no more.
I would like to. Let me see. I would like to. Where's my button? I want it.
Portions
wanted to
of the
press up
second floor above that spot are no more.
Oh dear.
Oh, wow.
I would like to. Can I channel divinity rebuke the violent?
It's a reflex to do, isn't it?
There's a
Oh, no, he's
I
rebuked
was
violence.
drinking. I was having a good time with my
We-
teammate and my elephant friend.
We've already
And
established.
We got hurt.
We have already established that you don't need to have line of sight. The question is, what's the range?
30 feet.
There is nothing within range. But you know what is in
Okay.
range?
What?
The creaking sound coming from the floor above you, which is not 100% supported. And that's what we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for playing. We've been
Okay.
recording for over 2 hours, and it is
Oh, wow.
later
we have-
than usual. So
Yeah.
Oh no.
who wants to plug
Mhm.
a thing?
Eo's mom writes books, elizabeth-mccoy.com. And if you like one of the ones you see there, you can ask your library if they can get it as an ebook because they're real cheap for libraries if they're on overdrive. So, hey. And speaking of books,
My website is bookofgen.net. It is currently being covered with a lot of Diablo 4 stuff. As soon as I can make it, I've been recording some of my gameplay. So, yeah, that's at bookofjen.net. I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, which new episodes come out every Saturday. I haven't posted them on social media yet, but they exist, and it's all about the Diablo games right now, specifically Diablo 4 and whatever the company's doing, and the FTC lawsuit lately. That's all.
And speaking of social media,
Oh yeah. I run a Schrodinger's Federated media site called elek.xyz. That's ELEKK.xyz. It is one of those hit cool Mastodon sites, but this one's about gaming and enjoying yourself while playing without being toxic.
and speaking of not being toxic,
We have a Patreon that's not very toxic, guaranteed to not be as intoxicating as Gear Grinder Special. Because really, what besides grain alcohol is? You can go to... This is a horrible way of describing it by words. Patreon.com/Cogwheel Gaming. Help us keep the lights on along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy. And until next time, this is Crash saying, I really hope the assurance policy covers this.
Utini.
Good night, everybody.
Nice.
Utini.